Secrets rot in darkness, but when the light hits them, they don't just fade, they explode. Chosen one, that's exactly what's happening right now. The very lies they built to destroy you are no longer hidden. Their carefully guarded secrets are slipping through their fingers like sand. And no matter how hard they try to grab hold, the universe keeps prying their fists open. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one, someone who thought they could bury the truth beneath layers of manipulation and control, suddenly watching their entire fortress of deceit collapse in public view. Walls that once looked unshakable are now cracking. The shadows they relied on for cover are gone, and the very darkness they trusted has turned against them. Here's the undeniable fact. In this digital age, nothing truly stays hidden. Studies show that more than 90% of exposed scandals begin with small leaks, screenshots, recordings, quiet whispers that snowball into viral storms no one can stop. That's the energy at play here. Their whispers are being broadcast as megaphone echoes. Their plots are unraveling in real time, screenshot by screenshot, share by share. It's a wildfire of exposure spreading faster than they can contain. And chosen one, you're standing on the side of truth, while their empire crumbles under its own weight. And thank you, chosen one, for being here. Don't forget to pay this message forward by simply pressing the like button and subscribing. Help spread this light to more souls. It's our shared responsibility to let the truth ripple further. Together, we are not just listeners, we are a force, a movement, a spark in a dark world. Thank you for being part of this mission. You are not alone. You are chosen. Now back to the storm at hand. The exposure isn't just random. It's targeted, precise, and relentless. Hidden documents, private chats, silent conspiracies, all the things they swore would never see daylight, are not just leaking, they're flooding. It's as if the universe itself grew impatient with their deceit and decided to broadcast it to the world. Digital footprints, once buried, are now glowing like neon signs across the timelines of millions. Every attempt to erase them only amplifies the spread. The more they deny, the more the evidence multiplies. The harder they fight the current, the faster it pulls them under. Think about this. Chosen one. History has always shown us that when the truth breaks free, it spreads like fire through dry grass. Once the match is lit, there's no stopping it. The more they scramble to cover up, the more obvious their guilt becomes. It's like watching someone try to hide smoke with their bare hands. The more they wave it away, the more it chokes them. And right now, the smoke of their lies is filling every room they step into. This isn't coincidence. This is consequence. The digital world is a mirror they can't shatter, and every secret they hid in the shadows is reflecting back at them in high definition. Screenshots of private betrayals, recordings of whispered manipulations, receipts of their false alliances, all of it is proof that the game is over. What once was their weapon is now their downfall. They designed traps for you, but the universe has turned those traps into cages for them. Chosen one, understand this. Exposure is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about their status, their wealth, or their networks. Once the truth finds its way to light, no title or influence can shield them. Look around. History is filled with powerful figures who thought they were untouchable, until a single leak, a single piece of evidence, shattered their world. That's where they are now. Their empire is built on sand, and the tide is rolling in. This moment, right here, is proof that resilience always wins over deceit. They underestimated the reach of truth. They thought silence would protect them, that manipulation would bury you, but the universe doesn't forget. Every move they made against you left a trace, and every trace is now working against them. It's not just exposure, it's justice unfolding in real time. So, as you listen, Chosen One, know this. You don't need revenge. Their downfall is already scripted by their own actions. The lies they whispered in secret are now shouted by millions. The shadows they trusted are betraying them. The universe is aligning in your favor, amplifying every crack in their armor until it shatters completely. Their secrets are not just going public. They're going viral, unstoppable, undeniable, and unforgettable. This is the moment they dreaded, and the moment you were prepared for. Stay steady, Chosen One. The light has already chosen sides. And Chosen One, before we dive deeper into this storm of revelations, I want you to pause and mark your presence. Drop the number 777 in the comments right now if you can already feel their downfall unfolding. This simple act isn't just interaction. It's proof that you're awake, that you stand on the side of truth while their lies collapse. And if you feel this message resonates, bless the mission by pressing like, subscribing, and sharing it forward. Every click, every comment, every share is another strike of lightning against the fortress of secrecy they tried to build. Remember, Chosen One, this isn't just a video, it's a movement. You're part of something bigger, a wave of truth that can't be stopped. Now stay close, because what comes next will make everything crystal clear. Their walls are already cracking, their shadows are already betraying them, and by the end, you'll see why they're truly done for. And now, let's begin, step by step. Number 1, their war room is burning, every secret strategy now exposed. Plots built in shadows always collapse when dragged into the light. Chosen One, that's exactly what's happening to them. The so-called war rooms they thought were impenetrable are now nothing more than open graves for their reputation. They sat in circles, whispering with military precision, sketching out ways to dismantle your name piece by piece, convinced no one would ever see behind the curtain. But the curtain has been ripped away, and now the world is staring directly at the machinery of their malice. Screenshots don't lie, timestamps don't disappear, and participant lists are circulating like wanted posters, each name tied forever to the crimes they thought would vanish into thin air. Now imagine this, Chosen One. For years, they treated you like prey, plotting, scheming, dissecting your every move. They launched coordinated strikes against your credibility with the cold calculation of generals at war. Yet today, those same blueprints of destruction are viral exhibits in the court of public opinion. Their carefully drawn maps of psychological warfare are being read aloud by strangers across the globe. The tactics they use to isolate you are now dissected like a biology experiment under a microscope, each layer peeled back to show the rotten anatomy of their cruelty. You might wonder, was it really this organized? Could so many people truly conspire with such chilling determination? Yes, Chosen One, and now the evidence proves it beyond debate. This wasn't random pettiness. This was warfare. The group chats reveal rotations, assignments, strategies, how one would plant lies while another would amplify them. It was a campaign with generals, foot soldiers, and silent enablers, all united by the goal of erasing you. But the universe has turned their discipline into disaster, their strategies into spectacles, their secrecy into shame. The internet is merciless with truth. Think of how wildfire behaves. Once a spark escapes, it devours everything in its path. That's what's happening here. A single leak became a blaze, and now their entire network is engulfed. Viral threads are mapping out connections between them like constellations of darkness suddenly visible against a digital sky. And the more the evidence spreads, the more undeniable the pattern becomes. Strangers, journalists, even casual observers can now trace the web of malice they spun, watching how each lie was carefully engineered, coordinated, and deployed. And chosen one, here is the brutal irony. The very tools they use to try to bury you, social platforms, private messages, hidden servers, are now the very tools exposing them. Their war chest is their coffin. Their chat logs are their downfall. Every sarcastic comment, every cruel laugh, every time-stamped plan of attack has transformed into viral ammunition that ricochets back against them with 10 times the force. They are drowning in their own receipts. It's natural for you to ask, why did they hate so deeply? Why go to such lengths? The answer is both simple and damning. They feared you. Your presence, your resilience, your very existence threatened the fragile empires they built on lies. And so they waged war. But in trying to erase you, they wrote their own obituary. Every campaign they ran against you is now archived forever in the court of public opinion, not as victories, but as crimes. And those who once stood silent are no longer silent. They're sharing, exposing, amplifying. This is the justice of the digital age. Truth no longer needs courtrooms, it only needs witnesses. And the chosen ones who witness are everywhere. They are retweeting, resharing, dissecting every line of evidence with relentless curiosity. The collective eyes of millions are turned toward them, burning away every layer of their defense until nothing remains but naked guilt. The coordination they once bragged about in secret is now a source of public disgust. What they thought made them strong only makes their fall heavier. Think of a chessboard, chosen one. They moved their pawns, knights and bishops in secret, certain they had cornered you. But they never realized the entire game was being recorded, every move archived, every strategy saved. And now the replay is going viral, exposing how predictable, how cowardly, how cruel their so-called brilliance really was. The spectators laugh, the commentators shred their reputations, and their once proud strategies are memes, punchlines, digital scars they cannot erase. And here's a fact they cannot outrun. History always punishes those who weaponize lies. From empires to corporations to petty cliques, organized deceit always collapses under its own weight. People remember the betrayals, not the victories. And in the end, the ones who waged psychological war are remembered not as masterminds, but as fools who underestimated truth. The internet is eternal. Screenshots are immortal. Receipts don't vanish. So, chosen one, take this as motivation. What you endured was not weakness. It was a test. They built entire campaigns to break you, and yet you are still here. Meanwhile, their fortresses are falling, their alliances fracturing, their names dragged across platforms they once dominated. Every blow they struck at you is now evidence of their corruption. Every attempt to erase your light has only made it burn brighter. Understand this, their so-called strategy sessions were never about power. They were about fear. Fear of being exposed, fear of losing control, fear of facing someone they could never truly defeat. And now that fear has materialized into reality, their weapons have jammed, their armies are in retreat, their commanders are exposed, and their empire is burning down in real time. Chosen One, let this sink in. They are done for. Their secrets aren't just slipping out. They are erupting, going viral, unstoppable, undeniable. What they tried to keep hidden has become their curse. Their whispers are megaphones. Their shadows are floodlights. Their strategies are self-destruction. And as the world watches, one truth becomes crystal clear. You survived the war they declared, but they will not survive the truth that now defines them. Number 2. The blood money trail is glowing. Their own wallets betray them. Money never lies. It only points its finger at the guilty. Chosen One, every dollar they spent to bury you has now become a torch lighting their crimes. They thought financial records could be tucked away in the shadows, hidden in vaults and encrypted files. But the universe has a way of cracking even the strongest safes, and now their ledgers are wide open for the world to see. The receipts are not whispers, they are sirens. The numbers don't protect them, they expose them. Each transaction is like a confession written in ink that never fades. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen One, they moved money through private accounts, transferred funds in coded patterns, paid mercenaries of reputation to smear your name, believing these actions would vanish into financial fog. But suddenly, the fog has cleared. Every wire, every payment, every hidden transfer now glows like neon in the night sky. Investigators and online watchdogs are following the path of each cent, and it's leading to one undeniable conclusion. They invested heavily in your destruction. And the irony? The more money they poured into silencing you, the more evidence now exists to prove their obsession. You might ask yourself, could they really have spent that much just to break me? The brutal truth, Chosen One, is yes, because nothing terrifies the corrupt more than someone they cannot control. They were willing to weaponize their wealth, to transform currency into ammunition, to hire pawns who would spread lies in exchange for deposits. But now those pawns are being exposed, their payments time-stamped and archived, their loyalties revealed to the public. The same accounts they used to pay off traitors are now chains shackling them to undeniable guilt. Money is memory. It remembers the hands it passes through. These digital banking trails are not just numbers, they are stories. They tell the tale of alliances forged in greed, of conspiracies funded with precision, of resources weaponized against you. Payment receipts are surfacing like digital fossils, each one proving premeditated malice. It's no longer speculation, it's math. Cold, hard, undeniable math. And math doesn't take sides, it only reveals the truth. Picture this. A network of conspirators linked not by friendship or ideology, but by bank transfers. One account paying another, funds hopping across borders, each move leaving a glowing footprint. These trails are now mapped out like rivers on a satellite image, impossible to ignore, impossible to erase. Forensic accountants are unraveling their schemes with surgical precision, while ordinary citizens amplify the revelations across social platforms. The exposure is spreading faster than they can deny, faster than they can hide. Their financial empire is collapsing, not from lack of funds, but from too much evidence. You may wonder, why would they risk leaving such obvious trails? The answer lies in arrogance. They believed wealth made them untouchable. They thought the size of their war chest gave them immunity from scrutiny. But arrogance blinds. They forgot the oldest truth of all. Gold betrays those who try to use it as a shield. Every cent they spent has turned into a weapon against them. The funding streams they once celebrated as proof of their power are now nooses tightening around their necks. Let's not forget the sheer scale of their investment. Chosen One, entire campaigns of defamation were funded like military operations. Advertising budgets repurposed to smear you. Private investigators hired to dig up dirt that didn't exist. Influence bought through payments disguised as consulting fees. Each strategy required cash flow, and each cash flow left fingerprints. The sheer amount of money dedicated to destroying you proves one thing above all. You were never small in their eyes. You were always the threat. Imagine this again, a courtroom of public opinion where the evidence is projected onto massive screens, bank statements, transfer logs, receipts for smear campaigns. The jury is not 12 people. It's millions of witnesses scrolling, sharing, and resharing. Every dollar spent is another nail in their coffin, another layer of proof they can never peel away. The public isn't just watching, they're dissecting, connecting dots, building maps of guilt so clear even the guilty can no longer deny them. Money is the loudest whistleblower. It exposes secrets no person dares to speak. Their economic investments reveal not desperation alone, but obsession. They were so committed to silencing you that they threw wealth into the fire, believing power could shield them. But instead of protection, money became evidence. Instead of silence, money created echoes. Instead of burying you, money unearthed them. And Chosen One, here's the sweetest irony. Their determination to fund your downfall is now the clearest proof of your importance. People don't spend fortunes to erase nobodies. The scale of their financial war is the ultimate acknowledgement of your power. They saw you as a threat worth millions, and now that investment is burning them alive. So where does this leave them? Trapped. Their accounts are under scrutiny, their receipts are viral, their allies are exposed, and every attempt to explain away the evidence only makes them look more guilty. The same resources they once weaponized have become the sharpest knives carving away their false image. They are bleeding credibility, bleeding influence, bleeding wealth, and the world is watching them collapse in real time. For you, Chosen One, this is vindication, not because you sought revenge, but because the truth always finds its way out. The financial records stand as monuments of their obsession. Every dollar they spent to silence you now shouts your name louder than they ever imagined. The trails of money are not just exposing their guilt, they are writing your victory in numbers, in receipts, in undeniable facts. So take this truth and let it strengthen you. Their wallets have testified against them. Their bank accounts have betrayed them. Their own money has dug the grave they now fall into. And as the world watches, one thing is undeniable. Chosen One, they are done for. And their secrets are not just exposed. They're going viral, unstoppable, and unforgettable. Number 3. Their lies are eating them alive. Every contradiction is a knife in their back. Truth doesn't need rehearsals. Only lies demand scripts. Chosen One, this is where their empire begins to choke on its own words. Their contradictions are piling up like wrecked cars on a highway, and no matter how much they swerve, the collisions keep happening. What once sounded like polished testimony now sounds like desperate improv, and the audience isn't buying it anymore. Every statement they made is being replayed, analyzed, and torn apart, and each version clashes violently with the last. Their story isn't just shaky, it's collapsing under the weight of its own inconsistencies. Now imagine this for a moment. They stood before others, swearing their lies were ironclad, delivering lines they were coached to recite. But secret recordings reveal the rehearsals, the coaching, the scripts. Their performances weren't testimony, they were theater. And theater always collapses when the curtain is yanked back mid-act. Today, the curtain is gone. Time-stamped footage slices through their fabrications with surgical precision, proving they weren't where they claimed to be, showing they did what they swore they didn't. Cameras don't lie. Metadata doesn't bend. Screenshots don't forgive. You might wonder, how strong is this evidence really? Strong enough to make their paid witnesses buckle. Those who once parroted false stories for money are now breaking under pressure, retracting their words, and exposing the very hands that fed them lines. Witnesses are no longer loyal. They're scrambling for distance, desperate not to drown with the sinking ship. A false witness will always outlive their own testimony. And right now, chosen one, those witnesses are cracking open like rotten shells. The deeper investigators dig, the more damning the discoveries. Security cameras they overlooked, emails they thought deleted, cloud backups they assumed wiped. But technology doesn't forget. Digital forensics is pulling their lies out of shallow graves, resurrecting every erased file, every forgotten post. Even hidden metadata is exposing them. GPS tags proving they weren't where they claimed, timestamps showing their lies were manufactured, devices linking them to the very files they denied. The universe has turned their own tools against them. Their contradictions are knives, and they're stabbing themselves over and over. Each lie exposed isn't just a weakness, it's a broadcast of guilt. And now the world isn't asking if they lied. The world is asking how much more is still buried. The answer, enough to finish them. Number 4. The machines betray them. Technology has become their executioner. Every keystroke is a footprint, and every footprint eventually finds its hunter. Chosen one, this is the brutal reality they never saw coming. They thought technology was their shield, their silent accomplice, their invisible cloak. But the very systems they trusted have flipped, turning from allies into executioners. Their deception is now dissected line by line, file by file, as recovery software exhumes communications they believed were buried in digital graveyards. The ghosts of deleted messages are screaming louder than their living lies, and no cover-up is strong enough to silence them. Now imagine this, someone sitting in a dark room, smug, convinced they've erased everything with a single click, believing the delete button made them untouchable. But months later, that very message, resurrected from the ashes of their arrogance, is presented as undeniable proof. This isn't speculation, it's happening. The platforms they once weaponized to smear your name are now the platforms supplying damning evidence. Screenshots, archived logs, metadata, every tool of their war has turned into a blade pressed against their own throats. You might ask, how deep does this betrayal of technology go? Deep enough that every erased post is still whispering, every deleted file still glowing, every attempted cover-up leaving a residue impossible to wipe clean. Digital breadcrumbs are being gathered and sorted into flawless evidence packages, detailed maps of their conspiracy from beginning to end. Their footprints form trails so clear, so damning, it's as if the universe itself scripted their downfall into the very code they used. A lie leaves stains no algorithm can wash away, and chosen one, those stains are being revealed in ways they never anticipated. Former allies, crushed by guilt and fear of exposure, are stepping into the light with confessions. They are breaking under the psychological weight, admitting their roles, describing the recruitment process, the manipulation, the coercion. They are naming names, exposing tactics, tearing the mask off masterminds who once hid behind anonymity. The web is unraveling strand by strand, each thread pulled by the very people they once controlled. The irony cuts deep. The masterminds who believed they were architects of secrecy are now trapped in cages built by their own technology, betrayed by their own allies, condemned by their own digital fingerprints. The tech has turned, chosen one, and it is not on their side. Number 5, their mouths betray them, confessions sealed with receipts. A guilty tongue needs no enemy, it condemns itself. Chosen one, this is the phase where silence breaks, and the very people who once swore loyalty to the lie are now racing to confess. Their words alone would be enough to shake the walls of deception, but these aren't just naked confessions. They come hand in hand with proof. Screenshots, records, messages. Every claim is being stapled to receipts that no denial can erase. The evidence is not scattered, it's a tidal wave, and it's swallowing them whole. Now imagine this for a moment. A domino line of conspirators who once stood shoulder to shoulder, suddenly collapsing one by one. One confession triggers another, then another, until the whole structure caves in. Those who carried the weight of secrecy for too long now feel it crushing their chests, and so they break. They hand over private logs. They release chat histories. They show the documents that were once locked in hidden folders. And as each truth surfaces, the others follow like a chain reaction that cannot be stopped. You might wonder, could they really betray each other so easily? Yes, chosen one, because fear and guilt are corrosive. They rot alliances from within. What once felt like loyalty now feels like a death sentence. And no one wants to be the last one holding the bag of lies. Former allies are running toward the light, offering confessions not just to clear their own conscience, but to avoid being buried under the avalanche of exposure. The receipts don't whisper, they roar. Every screenshot backs a confession. Every record nails a story into place. Independent sources confirm the timelines, the participants, the orchestration. What was once rumor is now hard evidence, broadcast in real time, analyzed by millions, dissected by investigators. Their entire network is being mapped like a spider web under a spotlight, each string vibrating, each connection visible, each node of complicity undeniable. Chosen one, take this in. They can't argue anymore. They can't run. Their own words and their own digital breadcrumbs have condemned them. The confessions are shackles, the receipts are chains, and together they've built an unbreakable case that screams one truth: they're done for. Number 6, the gavel has turned. Their lies are now court evidence against them. Perjury is a fire. It burns the liar first. Chosen one, the very halls of law they once twisted into weapons are now echoing with their downfall. They dragged your name into courts with forged claims, paraded fraudulent evidence, and swore false oaths under penalty of law. But the truth has risen, and now those same records, their supposed proof, are being exposed as brittle forgeries, snapping under the weight of contradictions. Legal documents that clear your name are not hidden in dusty archives. They're viral, spreading like lightning across digital platforms, where millions can see the undeniable stamp of your innocence. Now imagine this. Court transcripts, once confined to silent records, are being clipped and circulated online, exposing word for word the perjury of your accusers. Lies sworn under oath are replayed like broken records until the world knows the sound of their deception. Police reports contradicting their public statements are everywhere, circulating screenshots that hammer home the truth they tried so hard to bury. What once was their fortress of law has become their execution chamber, each official seal and signature branding them guilty. You may ask, can legal proof really go viral? Absolutely. These documents aren't dry pages anymore. They're evidence turned into viral ammunition. Analysts, journalists, and ordinary people are breaking down every fraudulent lawsuit, every fabricated filing, and every contradiction. And the crowd is watching the dissection with sharp eyes, recognizing that the justice system itself has flipped. The machinery they weaponized has now shifted gears, recording their guilt, not your defeat. Court records are the graveyard of lies. They bury falsehoods under ink that never fades. Every document stamped by a judge, every transcript logged, every ruling issued is now a permanent scar they can't erase. The lawsuits they filed to break you are collapsing in public view, dismantled line by line, until nothing remains but evidence of their fraud. Even Freedom of Information requests are dragging their secrets into daylight, turning dusty paperwork into viral proof of your vindication. Chosen one, this is institutional vindication. It's not opinion, not rumor, not narrative. It's law, official stamps, notarized signatures, judicial rulings, all screaming one fact: you are innocent and they are guilty. And history will remember it that way. Number 7. The masks are off. Their blacklisting scheme is public execution. Sabotage may silence opportunity, but it always leaves fingerprints. Chosen one, the professional world they weaponized against you has become the very arena of their humiliation. For years they whispered into inboxes, plotted in boardrooms, and planted seeds of doubt to keep doors shut in your face. They thought emails would vanish, that calls would be forgotten, that their conspiracies would dissolve into thin air. But now the records are spilling into the open. Emails between employers, cold, coordinated, unmistakable, are exposing how they blacklisted you long before you ever had a fair chance. Now imagine this: executives shaking hands behind closed doors, smug in their belief that a single poisoned reference could bury you. But today, those same handshakes are digital handcuffs. Payment receipts are linking trusted references to bribes, exposing exactly why they spoke venom into your name. Their motives weren't integrity, they were greed, and now greed has dragged them into the spotlight, stripped of credibility, chained to undeniable proof. You might wonder, was it really that calculated? The evidence says yes. Documents reveal how they infiltrated industries, spread falsehoods, and deliberately sabotaged your livelihood. Their campaign wasn't sloppy, it was systematic. They mapped out your career like a battlefield and poisoned every bridge before you could cross. But the poison is now in their veins. Blacklists don't stay black, they glow red under truth's light. And that light is merciless. Coordinated sabotage across sectors and regions has been traced, revealed, and confirmed. Entire organizations are being confronted, forced to answer for the corruption they enabled. Industry circles that once closed ranks around them are now pulling away, terrified of being caught in the fallout. Their strategy of exclusion has boomeranged into exposure, marking them as violators of ethics, not gatekeepers of opportunity. Chosen one, the professional sabotage that once starved your income is now feeding their downfall. Financial records prove they weaponized resources to cut off your streams, but those same numbers now guarantee consequences. The world sees it. Industries see it, and soon even history will record it. They thought they were writing your exile, but they were scripting their own execution. Number 8, their poison is spilling, every manipulated relationship now exposed. Manipulation is a borrowed weapon. It always cuts back at the hand that swings it. Chosen one, the most brutal wounds they tried to inflict weren't in boardrooms or courts. They were in the quiet corners of your personal life. They infiltrated your friendships, your family ties, your closest bonds, believing that if they could isolate you, they could finally break you. But the poison they dripped into ears in secret is now spilling out in public, and the stench of their deceit is choking them. Now imagine this for a moment. Private conversations, once whispered like daggers in the dark, now plastered across digital spaces, screenshots making their lies impossible to deny. They told your friends you couldn't be trusted. They whispered to your family that you were unstable. They engineered rumors so carefully, tailored to each person's vulnerability, like surgeons of betrayal. And yet the very conversations they used to isolate you are now viral receipts, showing the world their cruelty in high definition. You might ask yourself, was it really this calculated? The answer, chosen one, is yes, painfully calculated. Documentation shows how they gathered intelligence before each strike, studying your relationships like maps, finding weak spots, and launching tailored attacks. One person was told you were reckless, another was told you were deceitful, each lie crafted like a key to lock one more door in your life. But those locks are now breaking, and the keys are evidence against them. Isolation is the oldest trick of tyrants, but truth is the cure. Observers and analysts are dissecting the very tactics used against you, exposing them as textbook psychological warfare. What once looked like genuine concern from others is now revealed as manipulation scripted from the shadows. Every warning about you, every false narrative, every story designed to twist perception is being pulled apart with evidence that leaves no wiggle room. Chosen one, understand this. Their success was an illusion. They didn't turn people against you through truth, but through poison. And poison never stays contained. It leaks, it spreads, and eventually it kills the hand that pours it. Now, the world sees their manipulation for what it was: systematic, intentional, and damning. The very relationships they tried to destroy are becoming the proof of their downfall. Number 9. The truth reopens doors. Their media machine is collapsing. Lies build walls. Truth tears them down. Chosen one, the very walls they erected between you and the people you loved are now cracking, collapsing under the weight of undeniable evidence. Those who once turned away, swayed by venomous whispers, are now seeing the receipts. Screenshots, recordings, documents, proof that they were manipulated into believing falsehoods. And now those poisoned relationships have the chance to be reborn, not in illusion, but in truth. The doors they slammed shut on you are creaking open again, this time reinforced by clarity instead of corruption. Now imagine this: a friend who once looked at you with suspicion, scrolling through viral evidence, showing exactly how lies were planted in their mind. A family member replaying leaked recordings of the enemy coaching false testimony. The shame they feel for abandoning you transforms into determination to rebuild. Reconciliation isn't weakness, it's recognition of truth. And now, chosen one, you are standing not as the accused, but as the vindicated, surrounded by allies rediscovering the real you. But the exposure hasn't stopped with your circle. It's rippling into the media world itself. Journalists are digging deep, uncovering how entire networks of information were weaponized against you. Leaked documents from slick crisis management firms show just how much money was poured into shaping a narrative of lies. Press releases once dressed up as truth are now stripped bare, compared side by side with irrefutable evidence of your integrity. Fake stories that once carried weight are being dismantled publicly, like stage props collapsing under the spotlight. Media built on lies is a sandcastle before the tide, and the tide is here. Outlets that once lent their platforms to smear you are now under fire, their credibility crumbling as audiences demand answers. The manipulation they helped spread has not only destroyed their own reputations, but it has sparked a broader awakening. People are realizing this wasn't just about you. It was a warning sign of how fragile the information ecosystem really is. Chosen One, their PR machine, has backfired spectacularly. Every press release meant to bury you has become evidence of their corruption. Every article planted to smear you has turned into proof of media decay. The same channels they once used to isolate you are now carrying the truth far beyond the reach of their lies. Their story is dead. Yours is alive, breathing, undeniable. Number 10. Their own devices. Betray them. The machines they trusted are now witnesses. Every device has a memory, and memory never forgets. Chosen One, the very tools they thought made them untouchable, have become their loudest accusers. They plotted in rooms they believed were private, but forgotten security cameras caught every smirk, every whisper, every plan to destroy you. They carried phones they thought would protect their alibis, but GPS data now pins them to the exact scenes they swore they never touched. The technology they once used to stalk, monitor, and suffocate you has flipped, and now it is choking them. Imagine this. The same surveillance cameras they set up to track your steps are now replaying their own crimes on loop. The encrypted chats they believed were invisible are being torn open by forensic experts, mapping their conspiracy like a spiderweb across time and space. Every scheduling app, every group thread, every secret call has left behind a digital shadow. And shadows can't be erased. They can only stretch until they reveal the shape of the monster. You might wonder, could it really be that airtight? Yes, Chosen One, because technology is merciless with truth. Forensic analysis of their phones and computers has turned up caches of evidence they thought deleted forever. Cloud sync features, those silent background processes, have resurrected incriminating details from the very systems they trusted. Every text, every file, every erased screenshot is preserved, chained together into a timeline of guilt so strong it cannot be broken. Smart devices are the silent jurors. They record without bias. Their homes, their offices, even their cars have betrayed them. Voice assistants that once obeyed commands are now echoing back candid conversations, exposing their coordination in raw detail. Tablets, laptops, and smart locks have all become chroniclers of guilt, stitching together a story of premeditation that no courtroom or public forum can ignore. And here's the poetic twist. Their obsession with control, their reliance on technology to dominate, ensured their own undoing. The Internet of Things they surrounded themselves with, cameras, phones, smart devices, became an unshakable archive of betrayal. Instead of erasing evidence, they multiplied it. Instead of burying proof, they backed it up in the cloud. Chosen One, every piece of data is now a thread, and together those threads have woven a tapestry of truth. Their own machines have testified, their networks have betrayed them, and their empire is collapsing under the weight of its own digital memory. The case is airtight, the exposure irreversible, and the vindication undeniable. Number 11. The Internet remembers forever. Their lies are now a global spectacle. The crowd forgets the show, but never the scandal. Chosen one, this is the final nail in their coffin. The mountain of proof has grown too high, too undeniable, and now millions across the globe are staring directly at it. The web of deception they spent years spinning has collapsed under the sheer weight of authentic evidence, and no patchwork narrative can hold it together anymore. What once was rumor is now fact, and what once was their power is now their curse. Now imagine this: your vindication isn't whispered in small circles, it's trending. Algorithms push it forward, social platforms amplify it, and strangers across continents are sharing your truth faster than they ever shared their lies. Every screenshot, every recording, every confession has become a beacon, flashing across timelines like lightning in the night. And unlike their carefully scripted smear campaigns, this wave isn't bought, it isn't forced, it's organic, raw, unstoppable. You may ask yourself, will people still remember? The answer is yes, chosen one, because digital memory never fades. Your innocence, their guilt, is etched into the permanent archive of the internet. Long after their names rot, the receipts will still circulate, the proof will still surface, and your vindication will stand like an unshakable monument carved in data. The internet is the witness that never blinks. Millions now see what they tried to hide. Public opinion has flipped with seismic force. Where once you were doubted, now you are defended. Where once they were believed, now they are ridiculed. Their credibility is shattered beyond repair, and no rebrand, no redemption arc, no staged apology can erase the stains burned into memory. Look closer, chosen one. This isn't confined to one corner of the web. It's everywhere. Borders don't matter, languages don't matter, demographics don't matter. People in every corner of the world are bearing witness to your vindication. The truth has transcended their reach, spreading into a global event that dwarfs their petty lies. The narrative has left their control forever. And this is the ultimate irony. The very thing they feared most has come true. Their lies have died, but your truth lives on. Not for a week, not for a month, but for as long as the internet exists. Their downfall is permanent. Your victory is immortal. Number 12. Your story is their warning and the world's inspiration. Truth isn't just survival, it's a torch that lights the path for others. Chosen one, your battle was never only yours. Every scar you carry, every betrayal you endured, every attack they launched has now transformed into a rallying point for countless others who once suffered in silence. People across the globe are seeing their own stories reflected in your journey. They see that even the most elaborate networks of deceit, funded with money, cloaked in secrecy and sharpened by malice, can collapse when confronted with relentless truth. Your vindication is no longer just justice for you, it's hope for them. Now imagine this: someone scrolling late at night, weighed down by years of manipulation, betrayal, and silence. They stumble across your story, not rumor, not opinion, but a mountain of undeniable proof. And in that moment, they realize they are not powerless. They see that lies can fall, that even enemies with money, networks, and influence can be brought to their knees. Your story becomes their permission to fight back, to speak up, to believe that exposure and vindication are possible. You might ask yourself, why does my story resonate so widely? Because what began as a private war against your reputation has erupted into a public lesson in resilience. Every dollar they spent against you, every plot they stitched together, every trap they laid has become a receipt in the case against them. Their malice built the evidence, their attacks built the proof. And in the end, their schemes became the very instruments of your liberation. Secrets are never loyal. They always betray their keepers. The secrets they once guarded with desperation have spilled into the open, stripped of power, turned into weapons against their architects. This is more than personal vindication. It feels cosmic, orchestrated by forces beyond their control. The universe itself ensured that nothing stayed hidden. Files backed up in clouds, receipts scattered across devices, conversations recorded in forgotten archives. All these fragments assembled into a tapestry of truth so vast it cannot be destroyed. And here lies the greatest irony. Your truth has achieved immortality. It has been scattered across platforms, copied into countless hands, etched into viral memory where no one can erase it. Long after their names dissolve into irrelevance, your vindication will stand as testimony. Their lies are destined for digital dust, but your story lives on as a beacon for every silenced soul who needed proof that truth, once unleashed, cannot be stopped. Chosen one, you are not just vindicated, you are a symbol, and symbols cannot be erased. Number 13, balance restored, chains shattered, their darkness became your light. Oppression is a forge, but it forges the chains that bind the oppressor first. Chosen one, the balance has finally tipped. The weight they piled on your shoulders, the suffering they engineered, the private hell they built for you, all of it has reversed with crushing force. Their dungeon became their prison, their lies became their verdict, and your scars became proof that truth cannot be silenced. What was meant to bury you has become the very cornerstone of your rise. Now imagine this for a moment. Every wound you carried, every night you questioned your worth, every betrayal that hollowed you out, repurposed by the universe into the evidence that convicts them. The pain they thought would break you has been transmuted into strength, into testimony, into fire. Their chains are shattered while you walk free, no longer their target, but their reckoning. You stand not as a victim of their cruelty, but as the mirror that reflects their true nature to the world. You might wonder, was it worth the suffering? The answer, chosen one, is found in the impact. Because your story has outgrown you, it has become a torch carried by others, proof that what was meant for destruction can become redemption. Those who once mocked, doubted, or turned away now see clearly. The lies didn't define you. The exposure did, and it lit the way for others still trapped in their own darkness. Truth is the great rebalancer. It returns every weight to the shoulders that cast it. Their attempts to twist reality only magnified the precision of justice. Every revelation now feeds another, a domino effect of exposure multiplying faster than they can spin new webs. Their control has collapsed into chaos, while your vindication multiplies like ripples across a vast ocean. Their condemnation is public, global, permanent. Your triumph is living, breathing, unstoppable. Chosen one, balance is restored. The chains are broken, their shadow is gone, and your light remains. Your name is no longer tied to their lies. It's tied to victory, resilience, and the proof that cosmic justice, once set in motion, cannot be stopped. Number 14, they weaponized your wounds, but their precision became their curse. Only cowards aim for scars. They cannot face strength head-on. Chosen one, the evidence shows they didn't strike at random. They studied you. They dissected your mind like predators circling prey, building a psychological profile to target your most tender vulnerabilities. This wasn't clumsy cruelty. It was surgical malice, crafted to destabilize your confidence, erode your sanity, and make you question your own worth. They didn't need fists or weapons. They used words, timing, and manipulation to wage mental warfare. And now the world sees it for what it is: coordinated psychological violence. Now imagine this: every whisper, every rumor, every sudden cold shoulder wasn't coincidence, it was engineering. Documentation proves how they orchestrated pressure from all angles, creating the illusion that rejection was universal. They wanted you to feel trapped in a hall of mirrors, every reflection twisted against you, every echo reinforcing the lie that you were alone. They timed their strikes with brutal precision, waiting for your weakest moments, when grief hit, when setbacks landed, when exhaustion clouded your vision. It was surveillance, invasive and chilling, designed to break you from the inside out. You might ask, how could anyone plan so meticulously, so ruthlessly? Because fear drove them. They knew they couldn't destroy your strengths, so they weaponized your struggles. But here's the irony: chosen one, their precision is now their curse. The very documentation of their tactics reveals a blueprint of psychological warfare that exposes not just them, but the entire system of abuse they represent. The public now sees the sophistication behind what many dismissed as drama or misunderstandings. The masks are gone, and the methodical cruelty is undeniable. Abuse thrives in silence, but exposure turns tactics into lessons. By revealing their strategy, the world now learns how subtle violence works, how invasions of the mind leave wounds deeper than any physical strike. Your story isn't just vindication, it's education. Others who've endured similar tactics can finally put a name to their pain. And in showing the world how they tried to weaponize your vulnerabilities, you've turned the very evidence of your suffering into a shield for others. Chosen one, what was once your breaking point has become their breaking news. Their invasion is their indictment. Their tactics are their downfall, and your resilience, once targeted, is now immortalized as proof that even the sharpest psychological warfare cannot defeat truth. Number 15. Their empire collapses, diplomacy twisted, business corrupted, fallout inevitable. Power built on lies always collapses under its own weight. Chosen one, the evidence has broken through not just personal circles or professional arenas. It has reached the highest corridors of diplomacy and business. Leaked communications show how officials, once believed to embody fairness, twisted diplomatic channels into tools of persecution. International business alliances, meant to create opportunity, were weaponized to block your path, strangling possibilities before they could bloom. What they tried to disguise as policy or partnership is now exposed as conspiracy, and the fallout is rippling across borders. Now, imagine this: government representatives forced to explain why their offices were mentioned in leaked emails, their diplomatic seals tied to campaigns of harassment. Imagine global corporations scrambling as receipts prove their executives played roles in shutting doors against you, not for merit, but out of loyalty to lies. What they thought would remain hidden under international complexity has been ripped wide open, and the scandal is sparking diplomatic incidents that can't be spun away. Countries are demanding answers. Institutions are facing questions they can't silence. The same power they once boasted about has become radioactive in their hands. You might ask, does vindication really reach this far? Yes, chosen one, because truth, once viral, has no borders. It doesn't stop at customs or checkpoints. It leaps across nations, cultures, and industries, forcing recognition even from those who once thought themselves untouchable. The exposure has become a global story, and your vindication is a mirror that forces the world to confront its own shadows. History studies victories, but it never forgets betrayals. Already, young people are studying your case, dissecting the tactics, and learning how deception is crafted and how it unravels. Universities are introducing modules on organized persecution, citing your experience as proof that truth, once unleashed, outpaces even the most sophisticated lies. Your journey has crossed from survival into curriculum, from pain into lesson, from endurance into inspiration. Generations who once believed silence was their only option are now emboldened by your example. Chosen one, this is bigger than you now. What began as a private war against your peace has grown into a historical warning and a global awakening. Diplomatic seals, corporate signatures, official documents, they all failed to bury you. Instead, they've buried the credibility of those who conspired against you. Their fallout is permanent. Your triumph is immortal. And listen, chosen one, you've seen it. Every secret exposed, every lie destroyed, every chain broken. Their downfall is undeniable, and your vindication now lives forever in viral memory. Let this story remind you that truth cannot be buried. It always rises, louder, brighter, stronger. If this message struck you, press the like button if you haven't already. And if you're still not part of our family, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Together, we spread the light, expose the lies, and keep building the force that no deception can silence. Stay strong, chosen one. The universe stands with you.